Konnichiwa, Nakamai, I'm your host, Logan23. You're joining me for the Game Awards, an event that takes place on December 7th, and brought to you by the Power of Democracy, where you can say, this game was spectacular to you, or it wasn't. So let's go ahead and go down to the Game of the Year editions, where I'm highlighting over something, because in order to cast your vote, you do need a Facebook account, and for Game of the Year, all of these are good games. All of these are great ones, except for PUBG. Here is why. PUBG is not expected to, though it has been an early release. It's not expected to be officially released until December. Usually games that are released in middle to late November to December especially are usually held over until next year. That's always been a thing. And I'll show you why here in a few other choices. With that being said, you've got Horizon Dawn, you've got Persona 5, you've got Mario, and you've got Zelda. So, the reason why I'm not scrolling is I had to cast my vote. Like I said, you got to have that Facebook thing, so I don't want to spoil it just yet. All four of these games, fantastic games. So I found a couple flaws in Horizon, but it was a fantastic all-around, well-rounded game. All of these games are very fitting for the Game of the Year nomination alone. Okay, it's like getting an Academy Award nomination. It's up there. You know, it's better to get a nomination than to not get one, and then it's especially better to get the award. Mario, oh, I love you, bro. You're the plumber like no other. Persona 5, fantastic. Great game. However, my vote went to Zelda. Fantastic all around. Something brand new. Something that brought a lot of new, really great and creative and unique experiences to the Zelda world that Zelda in the world in and of itself did not have before. And Zelda's a game that I don't care if you're a PC, Xbox, or PlayStation gamer, when you hear Zelda, you know that most of those games, throughout time, throughout space, have been pretty damn good. So that's why my vote has to go to Zelda. Next, for Best Game Direction. This one was so hard. You have the cream of the crop here for games that I love. And this one was extremely difficult. I had to sit through gameplay experience. I had to sit through a lot of opinions, a lot of everything, and gameplay and everything to fully cast my opinion once these options went live. This was really tough. So, this is awarded to a game studio for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. So, Horizon Zero Dawn was a brand new game that took the 2017 by storm, but I felt like it kinda was like opening a cold Coke on a hot summer day. It was fantastic when you taste it. It was fantastic after, a little bit of time. But then as it dreared on and it went on, it lost a little bit of its fizz over time. Resident Evil 7, really good. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be really hard to vote against you, baby. However, there were flaws in it. Wolfenstein 2, I have not had a lot of hands-on time and experience with yet. However, a lot of people have enjoyed it. A lot of people have voted yes on it. However, here is where you're going with creativeness and innovation. Super Mario went and brought back that flair of N64 Mario. It brought that holy crap feeling to it. It wasn't that immensely changing, but it brought back them feels. If you were an N64 gamer, it brought back the feels. Going from, say, Mario old school to then Super Mario and on the N64, it was like, oh my god, this is the Mario for me. However, you did have Legend of Zelda. So for me, right now this choice is so damn hard because, Nintendo took it by storm this year. Nintendo with the Switch. And they've got a ton of great games lined up for 2018, and that's not a sales pitch or anything. I am still as a streamer and a YouTuber, I'm still pissed off that Nintendo does what they do on YouTube. So, that trust me, I have a bias against them right now. So, but I have to put that aside. I have to sit on the picket fence and I have to go, you know, what did I really enjoy? What did I really hear good things about? And it's gonna be Zelda. Best narrative? Mm. Okay, so Nier Automata, like I said, really would have deserved a nomination for Game of the Year. Fantastic game. Wolfenstein, I'd have to say great narration. At times it kind of felt like Fallout 4. Horizon Zero Dawn, same category. If you have not checked out Edith Finch, it is a fantastic kind of story-based game that is really hard to look at all these other ones, all these great visual games, and go, I'm sorry, Edith, but oh, I can't. Like, you're so close. And I feel like that, for best narrative, will be taken by storm. I'm trying not to hype too much, because it was my downfall for No Man's Sky. And I learned my lesson. I hype over one game in my life. That was No Man's Sky, and they let me down. So, Detroit Becomes Human, I feel like it's going to take 2018 by storm. I feel like they're really going to do it. It's going to be a Sony exclusive, no less. Especially with Last of Us 2, I feel like that's really going to take things by storm. And it's unfortunate because these story-based games where your choices actually matter, they're slowly starting to enter the world. Like, a lot of people main complaints was Fallout 4 and a lot of the other games recently just felt shallow. They felt like the choices didn't matter. And the whole driving pitch for Detroit Becomes Human is every choice matters. You can literally get someone killed, you can get killed, the game is over. And then you got to replay and change your choices and pick up from that save. So, your choices will matter. Especially a small thing such as rebelling or telling someone yes or no or maybe, or depending on your personality, it's really going to change the story. So Edith, you did fantastic, but Hellblade, I felt was weaker actually than Edith. I just felt like it was weaker than Edith. This vote is of course going to go to Wolfenstein 2. Like I said, it did still feel like kind of like Fallout Shelter, or not Fallout Shelter, Fallout 4 feeling to it, the sound, the pretty much everything, but there wasn't so much the illusion, and it actually did do some really good storytelling, and it caused quite a drama stir, especially with Nazis, because that is the point of that game. With that being said, best art direction. So, creative or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Cuphead was and is fantastic. Animations and everything that I've never seen before. The artistic design is fantastic. It is really a new flavor. It's like discovering a new flavor of coffee or drink or something. It's a really good new flavor. For people that didn't touch Persona 5, for people that didn't look in it, it's really a game you should look into. Horizon Zero Dawn, like I said, it's that cold Coke on a hot summer day. I feel like it just didn't deliver, even 90% all the way through. Legend of Zelda kind of had that same feeling. Destiny 2, don't get me started. I think it was a bit premature, especially on a game like that, to go with outstanding creativity and technical achievement. I feel like it was really premature on that. Maybe in 2018. I don't know. But I'm going to go with Persona 5. And again, you get to have a difference of opinion. I will respect that. We can even have a civilized discussion if you'd like. But on to the next one. Best music score. There is a good for each one of these. I suggest going, if you don't own the games, I suggest going to YouTube or going to music service and looking up the soundtracks for these to cast your own opinion. That's what I had to do. Let me run down these. Persona 5 was definitely the anime type of sound and score. And they split this up. Last year, it literally was audio and music, and this year they split it up to, your music, and then the next one's audio. Persona 5 was literally, if you're an anime fan, check it out if you haven't. It was fantastic. It had the groove to it. It was just awesome. Legend of Zelda, incredible. Every single one of these had a very unique flavor, a very unique taste. Super Mario felt like there was so many change-ups. However, the music did get just a little bit repetitive in certain songs. Legend of Zelda, it kind of was like a breath of fresh air in the wild. Nier Automata, fantastic. It was kind of new to me in certain songs. Cuphead was that kind of like jazzy, kind of, 50s to the 60s, 70s maybe, edging kind of in the 80s maybe, but they kind of did remixes on it. It was really good if you're into that. You liked a little bit of classical kind of, ba da ba doo ba ba lam bam boom, kind of like feel, and yet it went well with the combat. Destiny 2, that's the one thing I can say about Activision's, and Bungie, but more or less World of Warcraft and Blizzard's side, and I think they kind of got that score from them. Is Destiny 2 was pretty fantastic. Um, so this one total, there was over 20 hours total of all these of listening to. Um, So yes, I've certainly done my background research, even for not playing all the way through on a lot of these, especially on Destiny 2. Um, so listening and enjoying the songs and getting to even play other games with them while listening to it, or just listening to it, as you're falling asleep or when you're waking up, walking around the house, whatnot. I'm gonna go with Persona. I'm gonna go with Persona. It's very hard. Like I said, Super Mario was a new feel. It really had some modern beats. It had some remixes. It had a lot of old Mario with it. Legend of Zelda 2, it had the feeling, and it's fighting me because of the nostalgia, the bias there. But Persona 5 had a fantastic OST, and I just have to go with it. I just really do. Best audio design recognized for best in-game audio and sound design. Again, these categories are hard. They're hard. So, Destiny 2 and Hellblade are my nitpicks. When it comes to in-game audio and sound cues and audio cues, you've gotta, especially in in an MMO feel, an FPS especially, you've gotta have those flawless or near flawless sounds for cues and things like that, especially to know where your opponent's coming from or where they even may be. And Destiny 2, I feel like they fell kind of on that a little. There was a lot of times where you would go and Hellblade kind of suffered from this too, as you would go through and you would hear no footsteps, and someone would be right there, or it would be in just campaign and single, and you would be running, and you would be like, there would be a sound deficit, and it wasn't sound drivers. It was on both PlayStation and PC that were having the sound issues. Xbox, I don't really know because mine collects dust. You could tell there was a lack. Like I said, for both Hellblade and Destiny 2, there was a lack thereof of that total immersion. There were times where you would hear certain sound effects or ambience, and then it would cut out all of a sudden for just a little bit while you heard other sounds, and it just felt like it was not complete. Like there was some corruption. Who knows? Maybe there was, but to have both. Uh. Super Mario, the cues were perfect. Um, few slippages, not as many as Hellblade or Destiny 2. Um, I have to say, both the Zelda and Super Mario, I didn't notice anything, and I haven't heard many complaints for in-game audio and sound design. However, when it comes down to, as a gamer, someone who's sitting there and I gotta take my audio cues, I gotta hear things, I gotta hear when I'm walking, I gotta hear noises, I gotta keep, I want to be immersed in the game, especially when I put on my headset. I want to be immersed when I'm in that game. And I'm gonna have to go with Resident Evil 7. Every walk, every creak, every creak, every board, everything you touched, there was a sound, there was an audio cue, it was fantastic, fantastic. The game itself was fantastic, but for especially in-game audio and sound design, my vote has to go to Resident Evil, hands down, hands down. Best performance. This one was a little tough. Claudia Black. I've had her in more. You notice how I don't go from left to right. I go typically in the middle and then go one way or another. It kind of gives an inclination of where I'm gonna go, right? Claudia Black, I felt was well done. However, it wasn't. It was just. It was just there. It was, you know her, you've heard her. It was just not bad, but it wasn't fantastic. Laura Bailey, pretty. There was more radiance. There was more charisma, things like that. But again, for the Uncharted, I just didn't feel it. Hellblade, for Melina, she did fairly well. She, had to get down and that picture does no justice, but that's what she looked like while doing, the CGI scenes and everything, and the little dots all over your face and everything. So for getting immersed in the role, getting immersed into it, she did a fantastic job. It's very hard with her not to give her the vote. You go to Brian Bloom, fantastic job. There was quite a bit of you could feel kind of like anger and emotions at times and things like that. But when it came down to it, it was a really tough one between Brian and Ashley. Ashley, I can't really give a lot of criticism to. It was pretty fantastic. So I'm gonna have to vote with Ashley. That's all I can really go with for you guys. To try and try and surmise and try and sum up, especially when you're doing voice acting and motion controls and capture performance and things like that. It's kind of like what I do. You just, at one moment, you're just frustrated all the hell, and you just don't know, god damn it! And then, you can sound like Obama in one moment, and you don't really know, So with that being said, games with impact. This one was tough. Because again, Hellblade is up there. Edith. Oh, Edith. So this is thought-provoking game with profound and pro-social meaning or message. So Edith was more of a visual novel that had great narrating and things like that, but it just didn't feel like it. Hellblade, I felt like it had those aspects, but not entirely. I feel like I didn't do Bury Me, my love. I didn't do Night in the Woods, and I didn't do Please Knock on My Door. Those are all kind of indie games that I never even heard of till now. So, out of the three I do know, Life is Strange is going to be my vote home. Um, Especially because I played the original too. And then I saw a friend actually who did the Life is Strange Before the Storm. And I was like, you know what? I actually like it. I actually like it. Best ongoing game. Hmm. Hmm. So, PUBG, um, has it got. It's like a fine wine when it comes to PUBG. It gets better with age. Um, Excuse me while I get a cough drop. It gets better with age. Like I said, I feel like maybe 2018, maybe. Overwatch, same feeling. It gets a little better with time. Trying to subtract the kind of toxicity, the drama, it kind of feels like, people harped on that more so than the advancements and the tweaking they've kind of done, which there's toxicity in any game. I even did a video about it, showcasing toxicity. There's toxicity on YouTube, toxicity anywhere. You're going to find it even on your local playground, folks. You're going to find it. So I'm discounting that completely from my decision. Now remember, this is outstanding development on ongoing content that evolves your player experience over time, so PUBG, no offense, you can't really evolve that. PUBG is like H1Z1. You can't really evolve it. They've evolved the game themselves to make it run smoother or have less bugs or things like that, but Destiny 2, I'm sorry, you just came out. Like, why you're on this list when you just have had basic content? No. No, you might as well have Destiny 1 on here. No, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Rainbow Six Siege has been really a kind of like a flip-flop going back and forth. We got this for you, but it's just... Mm, 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 mm. You would have been better off to have Division on there. Warframe. Now, that does cover ongoing content that evolves your player experience. Now, if you're not a big Warframe fan, I can certainly understand. I myself am not a person who was willing to or has been able to sit down and play it for as much time as they're expecting you to do Battlefront 2. If not longer. Difference is, that's a free game. So, what do we have to go with? Grand Theft Auto. Now, Grand Theft Auto, again, there's a lot of these games, it's hard to go with. Grand Theft Auto had its ups and downs. Grand Theft Auto, there was a time where you sat on the content that they had and it was like, okay, so are you guys ever going to do Heist? Heist was the big thing. Well, then they finally got Heist out there, and then it has steamrolled, and along with player added content and all those other things. So it definitely fits the criteria of development of ongoing content that evolves your experience over time. And you definitely, with GTA Online, you definitely get that experience. So, you know, with that being said, my only criteria, now this is actually where I'm going to get really good. Destiny 2, I want to see more content. And that's, of course, because it's that MMO feel, it's that FPS feel. That's something that is going to beat PUBG, that's going to beat Rainbow Six, that's going to beat Warframe. Destiny 2, I could see it in 2018, providing there isn't another competitor there that comes out of nowhere and does what Grand Theft Auto has done with content and can beat Destiny 2, because I'm sure they got raids and everything, and I believe Destiny 2 has it in them to make this next year, but it's so premature, it's so early to make that decision that I cannot wholeheartedly make that decision with a good conscience. I would love to, but GTA has been a long-running, long-standing game that people have been able to go back to and experience all new things every time they go back after giving it a while. Overwatch, I'm sorry, the only good thing about you is holiday events. Moira is coming out, people get their 2 to 4 weeks in, they'll maybe run competitive, and then they'll go back. There's more content and just love for Heroes of the Storm, and had you put our Heroes on the Storm up here, it would have actually been better than half of these games. It's for best ongoing game, especially with maps and everything. Best mobile game, this is my department, folks. This is literally what I am expertise in, especially handheld, which is next. But for best mobile game, Super Mario Run everyone was hyped for. It flopped. However, they did make up for it with Super Mario Odyssey, but Super Mario Run just flopped, especially with the paid content. It was free for the initial couple of things, and then it was like, hey, fork out cash. We'll give you on a try basis. I never did because I just didn't feel like it was worth the money to spend on. There's great visual novels out there, especially in my case, like The Letter, which would have been a fantastic, and I'm floored that didn't even make this list at all anywhere. The Letter was fantastic, but again, I guess the gaming community is just not ready for deep, deep visual storytelling. Monument Valley, never heard of. Hidden Folks, never heard of. So we got those three. Well, I don't want to say I've never heard of. It's just I looked at them and I'm just like, this isn't my play style. So if you're a person that likes the running and jumping and kind of puzzles and things like that, without the kind of Super Mario Run thing they gave you, Monument Valley would definitely be your game. Hidden Folks was kind of like Where's Waldo? Except with a lot more. I, as a person who've even done Fire Emblem Heroes playthroughs on my channel, I'm going to have to go with Fire Emblem Heroes because it has been a fantastic, constantly evolving, constantly dedicating game that is excellent for any mobile device or emulation. And it definitely is dedicated to bringing characters and content and abilities, and I mean, they just released a whole thing where you could upgrade your abilities and everything. It was fantastic, and I'm still playing that game. That is like in a folder on all of my devices that sits there, and it's like, hey, just log in and use some energy, and it's fun, and you don't have to sit there and spend all day to do it, and you don't have to spend all tons of cash. You don't really have to spend any. Oh, I forgot to vote now, didn't I? Confirm your vote. Best handheld. So, Metroid, oh man, I grew up to Metroid. Metroid was, and it still is, my bae. Monster Hunter, I expected more out of. Um, and yeah, it's Nintendo definitely going to take this home regardless. Poochie and Yoshi Woolly World was actually a fantastic little bit of delight. It was something new, but it it kind of just wasn't all there for me. Monster Hunter Stories, it was fun, it was delightful, it was kind of like a thing on the side, but Ever Oasis, pretty good actually. Not mind blowing. It's not up there in kind of like the feel department or being graphically stunning. Not a lot of huge immense story line or narrating or anything of that. And that's where I go to Fire Emblem Echoes. Anyone who's played the Fire Emblem series knows Fire Emblem is a fantastic game. It's a fantastic series. Rarely has there been divergence from that of going and saying, no, this was horrible, this was shit. That's why Fire Emblem has been a long-standing, long-running series that I myself have really enjoyed partaking. However, if Fire Emblem did not make that list, this would be a lot harder. I would have either gone with Ever Oasis or I would have gone with Metroid. So, again, Fire Emblem, again, takes it. And Nintendo, I have to say, between the mobile and the handheld, is doing a fantastic job. Best VR AR game. This would have been 100% hands down Resident Evil 7. However, from going and taking it from the console hashtag PC to that, it compromised it. It compromised it. It ruined it. Not entirely, but still a fantastic game. But did it deliver as much, as well as it did? No. It would have been hands down had they not compromised in certain areas. It would have been a fantastic, fantastic VR AR game that I would have suggested to anyone, and I would have been like, get it. Just no, don't question it. Just get it. Like I said, they compromised a little too much on it. Um, Lone Echo, fun little game. Um, it's quite fun. It's kind of just throw the ball around and chase after it, and you fly kind of feeling, and it's not too bad. Farpoint, I had seen very little of, to be honest. It's something that was very on the low bottom spectrum of the VR AR this year. It just something was not spectacularly hyped, and really something that kind of just fell under the bus is about the best way to put it. However, I am left with the two hardest, or the hardest decision on here besides Game of the Year, which is Super Hot VR and Star Trek Bridge Crew. To be able to sit in any chair on the bridge, and to be able to touch the consoles, and to do the things, and it is any Star Trek nerd's dream. It is a dream. And maybe one day that dream will become a reality. So for virtual reality and augmentation, it was fantastic. And that's what makes it tough. Because when I look at Super Hot VR, it is a fantastic concept. Fantastic concept that pretty much allows cause and effect realizations, allows you to freeze completely and think out and point out your shots and then go for it and avoid being shot yourself. It allows a lot of awesomeness. However, like I said, that Star Trek, that bridge crew, being able to sit there. This is not so much about what other people think. This is my nerd crush. I'm gonna have to go with Star Trek. I would love so much to click on Super Hot. But when it comes to virtual reality and being able to be immersed in something and being able to sit, like I said, at the captain's chair or at the cadet station or communications or anything, to be able to sit down and do that, it's Star Trek. It just, if I want to go shooting and I want immersion, I'll grab a gun and go to a shooting range. No offense. But Super Hot VR's there, but when you're competing against Star Trek, I'm sorry. I love you, but I'm sorry. Best action game. Prey I had high hopes for, but unfortunately it failed me. I just burst out there with it, don't I? Nio? Nope. I'm gonna be honest. Nope. I don't know what you're talking about. Destiny 2, Cuphead, and Wolfenstein. Destiny 2 wasn't entirely focused on combat, though. However, it is an FPS. It is also focused on the loot-driven side. It also is focused on, other transactions. With that being said, does it wholeheartedly focus on combat, just pure unadulterated combat? None of these games really do, but when you sit down and you play Destiny 2, I don't feel like it's got that. I don't feel like it's there. Like I said, I feel like Destiny 2 is the offspring of Destiny 1 and has a lot of growing to do, but it's better than Destiny 1 so far. When you sit down and do Cuphead, that is actually a fun game. Is it combat immersive and action-oriented? Not entirely either. However, when you do Wolfenstein, it has that Fallout feeling. It has that shooter. It has that action. It has that, but it also has the storytelling aspects. So it's very hard when you look at those three. And I dropped Cuphead down below Destiny 2 and Wolfenstein. So now it's between those two. Again, I feel like it's a bit premature to give them best action game. And I just feel like that off of experience, off of a lot of things. I'm going to have to go with Wolfenstein 2. Like I said, I feel like it's more well-rounded. I feel like it literally is, under that assumption, best action game for focused on combat. Best action adventure game. This one was tough. Um, Action, Uncharted. Uncharted would have taken it. I got a little, bit of story in there, but action, okay. Action adventure, Assassin's Creed. All right, all right. I've not too fond of it, but all right. Horizon Zero. Like I said, this one's tough. This one's really tough. Action, being Mario. Little adventure. Oh hell yes. Zelda is literally the. I mean, let's be honest. When you think action and adventure, and you look at all these names, and you've seen or you've experienced the gameplay or you've seen anything, you go with Breath of the Wind. I'm sorry. I hate to be that way. However, I'm like floating here. I'm going back in between. I'm going Horizon Zero and Legend, and that's what I feel. But I just there was more action and especially more adventure in the Legend of Zelda versus Horizon. Horizon had a story to tell. Horizon had its action, it had its adventure, but I felt like it was more to it. It was a combination. It's something that was in the crock pot, and it was just everything. Versus being specifically, combining combat with traverse puzzle solving. That is literally, Zelda in and of itself. Best role playing game. Mmm. 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 This one's tough. Final Fantasy 15, not bad. No. Nier Automata, not bad. No. I already just no and no. Okay, Persona 5, rich character, customization and progression. You're in the middle of the road. However, South Park and the Fractured Butthole or Divinity, really tough. Because Divinity was all about customization. It was all about progressing, especially, and things like that. South Park, The Fractured, it had customization. It had progression. Of course, it was a very linear storytelling. Oh man, it's tough. So I have to pick between fan favorite and leaving my bias at home after what Ubisoft just did to South Park: The Phone Destroyer. And I have to leave that bias at home right now, and I have to go, shit. So, I have to go with... It's sad, because I know the overwhelming amount of people, I really am leaning towards Divinity, and the overwhelming amount of people will not go with Divinity. I really want to stick with my guns. I really want to show them love. But the overwhelming amount is going to go with South Park. But again, the whole point of this is character customization, progression, and then massively multiplayer experience. I'm going to go with what that means, what that sums up, and personal experience, and I'm going to go with Divinity. Like I said, you just know South Park is going to get... You just know, but I'm going to stick with it. This one, hands down 2018. Right now, I just know, unless it completely and utterly flops, Dragon Ball FighterZ. I don't even have to, 2018, sign it up, click it, it's going to happen. Best fighting game. The hype is already real. I'm not that impressed with it because the season pass, the DLC, the $34.99 on top of the $60 game. I'm not already happy with that. Especially to get cosmetic crap. And then, hey, you get a couple extra... No, I'm sorry. Can we take away the cosmetics? Can we take it down to 20 with the cosmetic crap you're throwing on? And then even then... Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Anyway, Tekken, no. Nidhogg, no. Marvel, no. ARMS, no. Injustice 2, of course. Injustice 2, especially would fit under a couple genres here, especially for evolving and continually adding new characters. They're going to add Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles here soon. A lot of other great content and characters. It's a fantastic, fantastic game. They've done great justice with Injustice 2 versus Injustice 1. Best family game. Son of a... Okay, so Splatoon, not bad. Sonic Mania, no. Mario and Rabbit, no. Mario Kart 8 and Super Mario. Okay, firstly, Mario Kart has been known to break friendships, relationships, and families. So, is it something that is good for family play? Not really. But no, seriously, it is a lot of fun. If you can get... I grew up with it. Unfortunately, now it's like... enjoy. It's not so much family fun anymore. Especially for me, it's a lot harder. Because I take care of two special needs brothers. So it's especially hard for me to sit and get them into something that would be family fun. It would have been amazing had they been able to, but I've tried so much. I've tried to get them into PC games and all this other stuff, and it's just like no interest. No interest. However, when I think of family fun right now, I think of the awesomeness, I think of the potential. I'm going to have to go with Super Mario Odyssey. Nintendo this year has dominated. You know, everybody was like, Nintendo's just shit, they should die. You know, nah, you gonna eat crow now, aren't you, boy? XCOM 2, a lot of bad reviews, a lot of bad bugs, a lot of crap. I had high expectations for this. Yes, it is real time and you know, turn-based strategy gameplay. So just no, I'm sorry, bias has to stand here. Towards, you know, just watching people play, personal experience, things like that. No, I'm sorry, XCOM. Nope. Tooth and Nail, or Tooth and Tail, excuse me. Never actually looked at it. Halo was true. Everyone and their mother's going, no. Mario and Rabbids, no. So Total War, Warhammer 2, some of my friends have really enjoyed that. They were really into it. There was content that was constantly coming out, constant bug fixes, things like that. Has it been something that needs a drastic, a lot of work done on it? Yes. Did this year suck completely for strategy games? Yes. So, I digress. Would have liked to see Civ 6 on there, maybe? Question mark? Best sports and racing games? Normally, everybody goes straight to specific one, and... Okay, so, FIFA, no. It's just... No! Especially because... Brought to you by EA. It's not in the game. Remember when EA was good? Moving on, biasness aside, not a big FIFA fan, never have been. And so that already throws out Pro Evolution Soccer 2018, NBA 2K18. I haven't played a basketball game since I was actually in basketball back in middle school and high school. So, I'm surprised Need for Speed isn't on this list. Yeah, it's not in the game. So we have Project Cars 2. Not too bad, however. And that would have been it right there, folks. That would have been the pick. But due to updates, releases, and things like that they did, they made the AI cars go complete dirt and just sucked. So it came down to GT Sport and Forza, and even though I begrudgingly have to say the damn exclusives, we're going with Forza. Usually out of racing games as of late, it has been Forza. Best multiplayer. Son of a... So... Call of Duty. No. Okay. We're going for... Which is interesting. Overwatch is not on this list. I guess they went with Destiny 2 instead. And this is where the fun begins. For outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, as I breathe down my cough drop into my lungs. and in respective of game genre. So, Mario Kart, I love you, but you've won enough years in the row. Stop it. Also, I mean, you're up there, baby. You're up there. But Destiny 2, again, with the premature crap. No, no. Literally, outstanding online. I would not go that far for Destiny 2. Splatoon 2, not too bad. Not too bad. I'd say it's middle of the road. Call of Duty was already a no. It's like bottom, just the toilet won't flush. Um, so here's where it gets fun. A lot of people are going to say PUBG because of the fantastic online, just, yeah, survive and battle royale. Here's the thing is I've been playing Fortnite far more than PUBG. When it comes to Fortnite, you had a fantastic, they've got in-game story events where you get to PvE, you get to build big forts, you get your own bases, you get all this time, just time-consuming, just fun shit. Battle Royale came in. I have seen the amount of PUBG videos go to nothing. Like, there's still PUBG, PewDiePie and some other players still play it, and they're hard into it because they're into it. But when it comes to Fortnite and being creative and being able to do things while doing that Battle Royale feel, it has really brought something to the Battle Royale feel that I feel was really needing. It's very unique. It's very amazing. So, unfortunately, like I said, I could see 2018, especially with games that I see coming out in 2018 for best multiplayer. There's a couple that would rival PUBG, but right now, Fortnite is going to take my vote. It has been fantastic. Do not let your bias go out. Look at Fortnite's just types of gameplay for especially online. And like I said, co-op, design, gameplay, and online experience. PUBG originally had the worst reviews possible for online experience. There were people asking for refunds and everything because PUBG dropped the ball. Eventually, PUBG picked back up the ball and started shooting 2-pointers and 3-pointers. However, then Fortnite came out, and they're like, so while you've been working on doing releases to just one specific place, and you're thinking about going everywhere, Fortnite is now everywhere. And we have Battle Royale, and we've carried over our PvE aspects into Battle Royale. So Fortnite had their shit together. Fortnite, in my opinion, really had their shit together. Most anticipated games. God of War, no. I've never been a huge God of War fan. I watched some gameplay, I watched the cinematics and everything. It's not too bad, but it pales in all hell of these 4 games. And it's funny because there's one game not up here where they could have done a 6, where it would have been Dragon Ball FighterZ. Again, that's one of the most anticipated games of 2018. So, Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Monster Hunter World, and Marvel's Spider-Man. The gameplay and everything shown from Spider-Man brings you back to that amazing Spider-Man game that everyone loved, and I'm like, don't screw this up, Sony. Don't. I don't want to hype over the game because I've been let down on too many damn superhero games. Please, please, I beg you, do not screw this up. Monster Hunter World, please? Red Dead Redemption. I'm gonna be honest, I never played it. Never played it. I've heard really good things for it. It's on a wish list. Never played it. However, I have played the shit out of Last of Us. Last of Us 1, I don't care about your bias, if you're an Xbox fan, if you're a PC elitist, I don't care if you're sitting there with your Samsung or your Apple iPhone going, no, I'm good. You do not know a true game experience until you do The Last of Us 1. That game sold systems, just like Legend of Zelda and Mario Odyssey and the games this year sold the Switch. They brought that sucker up to be top seller. That right there. That right there. Last of Us 2 is going to put PlayStation 4 Pro over the Xbox, the X or S or whatever they're calling it now, that I don't give a shit, because when I look at, I mean, I hate to say this, where here do you see any most anticipated game for 2018 for anything and everything for Microsoft? You don't, and this is the major this is the major problem with Microsoft. There's no exclusives. My PlayStation gets far more use than an Xbox. I got so tired of cleaning off the dust. I literally boxed it back up, and I'm like, nope, it's done. It's over. I hate to be that way. It was used for work purposes, and that's all I'm gonna say. Moving on, Last of Us 2 Part 2. They have teased us. They have. Oh Lord, I am salivating right now. Best independent game. You son of a. This is my jam. This is where, I play these types of games. This is my jam. Pyre, Night in the Woods, and Hellblade. Not bad! Hellblade, for an independent game that did creativeness and technical achievement in a game made out of, outside the traditional publisher. If someone doesn't pick up either Sony or Xbox or even just Steam or I don't care who, please not EA. Please, for the love of God, not EA. If someone does not pick up Ninja Theory for the work they put into Hellblade, I am shocked. I'm shocked. That being said, Edith was a I love visual novels. I love the choice games. I love those things. So, Edith, I really want to give you something. But you've got the nominations, man. I really want to give that team something. They did a fantastic job. I really want to give them a hug, a coffee, something. They did fantastic. However, the most talked about independent game this year was, unfortunately, Cuphead. And I say unfortunately because damn you and having to make choices. Okay, I can't vote for these, which is interesting. But I did look these up. Very interesting games. I liked the concept for Impulsion. It kind of took a Portal feel to the next level, and then just changed it all up to hell. And not in bad hell, it was just like Doom level hell. And then it was very interesting, because there's not much you can find on it, but it is a very interesting game. Level Squared, Meaning, and Hollowed. Hollowed wasn't too bad. Level Squared, Meaning, they're not bad, especially for it coming out of other countries. Remember, these are coming from all different parts of the world. So keep that in mind. These are literally what you would call indie games, but they're best student-made games. Okay. From the Light and Falling Sky. Those are hard to pick from. However, Falling Sky is what I would pick. Falling Sky was fantastic, especially to be made by a student. Fantastic. I'm going to assume a college student. A team of them, actually. But I have to say, fairly well done, gentlemen. I so would click this if I could, and vote for you. Okay, so this is my category. This is for streamer, influencer, or media member who made an important impact on the industry this calendar year, which is fantastic. So, Mr. Disrespect, aka Guy Beam, has quite a following. Pretty interesting personality. Pretty up there. I mean, he's someone who isn't up there to the big YouTube and Twitch, demographic yet, but he's getting pretty up there. Mike I literally had to look up. Apparently, he's with SK. Um, I didn't. There wasn't much on him really. So I'm like, okay. And I researched these people aside from knowing what two of them already stand for. Andrea is a YouTuber and a Twitcher, kind of like me, which is amazing that they don't have the YouTube channels here, which is just amazing. I get it. You know, it says streamer. Well, streamers either originate on YouTube or they do YouTube too. Um, so just being said, she is someone who is kind of like me, but she's been in the game a bit longer. She has less subscriber count than me on YouTube, but far more Twitch followers. Let's be honest. I mean, it's a platform that I just started into officially. Clint, amazing guy. He's like me. He has a physical disability with his right hand. I have one with my left. For and it's become extremely difficult, but I still do it, to do like games where you're constantly hitting the keys. Um, and we're talking like I used to type, and it's unfortunate because I burned my own arm out. I used to type 120 plus words a minute, and I can still type, and there's bursts of speed at times, but um, unfortunately, when it comes to my left arm, part of it has started to be disabled, I guess is the best way to put it. Um, Basically, there are times where I will not be able to use from my middle finger over on my left one. I won't be able to use the fingers. I'll have to use either the thumb or the index finger. And because the 2 to 3 over become completely numb, and there's quite a bit of pain in those nerves on the left side of my arm. With that being said, Stephen Spoon, um, incredible guy. His entire life has battled, um, medical ailments, and he has continued to be extremely passionate about gaming. He has continued to push for others. Both Clint and Steven have done so, um, and pushing to help able or unabled. You would say abled, but in this case, you know, it's fitting for like half coordinated, one hand and able gamers where you can still game. You just need a little helping hand, and that's kind of reminds me of my brothers and why I wish I could get them into gaming and take over my passion one day. Um, is you want everyone to game. I think everyone should enjoy gaming in their lives. It really helps. And so this one is really tough for me. Because both Clint and Steven stand for something big. And it's unfortunate that this is not something more or less recognized in our industry. Everyone wants the best and the brightest and the youngest, and everybody makes such a big deal. Once you hit like 25 or something, and like Heroes or Overwatch or League or something, it's like, oh, it's time to retire, dude. You're no longer able to keep up, and it's like that is false. That really is false because it just really is. Um, and some of the things I've been able to do and some of my achievements itself, especially for my age, certainly stand out against that. But I digress. Of course, when you're younger, you're more able-bodied. That's a given. With age, the only thing you get is more wisdom. So with that being said, this is really difficult for me. This is really difficult. This is like picking, which brother do you like the most? Um, like I said, this is really tough. This is out of all the decisions I had gone through and went to decide, and when I got to this one, it's like I hadn't decided yet. I knew what I was down to, but to choose between these guys, it's very tough. Um, I know, even though I wish, and I'm kind of in the same boat, I wish they would be as recognized. Mr. Dr. Disrespect here is the number one. Like I said, you can go based off his follower count, everything. So if he just had even like one out of every two vote, he's probably gonna win. Um, I'm gonna vote Steven. Vote Steven. And hopefully one day, the gaming community stands more behind and advocates more for these folks. It's something that I wish humanity, in and of itself, I've advocated for special needs children for over 10 years, and it's something that you're not out. You're not out to wear a hero. You're not to be a hero. You're not to wear a cape, and you're not gonna get any fame or fortune from it. Certainly. Moving on. Best esports game. Lord. Rocket League and old but a goldie, Dota 2 same, and CS same. Um, I remember playing Dota when I was younger. It was just Rocket League I never played, but I've heard really good things about it. Um, I'm assuming by popularity and the amount of people that still play it, even over Overwatch, I'm going to assume League of Legends. However, you talk about a toxic community versus Overwatch, and yet Overwatch gets so much more shit because so much more people are livid, I believe is the word. Is that the word for it? Livid? And then people also like to antagonize one another, and then they act like the victim. And I've seen in Overwatch, I've seen so much crap. I've seen a lot of it in League too, but I have seen so much crap. Best esports game. Oh, hold on. Oh, unfortunately, I feel like I'm fighting off something. And so, yeah. Oh, my nose was getting quite backed up. Um, the inclusion of tournaments, community support, and content updates. Sorry, Overwatch. That final part. Content updates. That final part got you. That and community support. That's another big one you guys need to work on. Tournaments, not so much. Yeah, I mean, hands down, it's going to be League, regardless. If you would have done Heroes, probably still would have been League. But, okay, so, I do not know these folks. I do not do League of Legends. I haven't done it in a while. I did Counter-Strike. I did Overwatch. Or I still do Overwatch. So, I'm going to go off of teams I love. How about that? Sorry, folks. When it comes to specific players, I'm like, eh. So, to be judged to be the most outstanding performer in 2017, irrespective of the game. Personally, I believe that in terms of performing, kind of skill-wise, but not entirely, I'm sorry, Dota. No, and you're the only Team Liquid person. That's amazing. Because I know Team Liquid is in a lot of other different types of games and genres, which is kind of underwhelming and sad. And also, I'd like to give a shout out to the female gamers. Can we see more, please? Like, can we have one female gamer? And I'm not saying this because of feminism or anything. I'm saying, come on, ladies, get yourselves out there. And I don't mean, booby streamers. I mean actually be out there and show and kick some guys' asses next year, please. Please, for the love of whatever you pray to, if you pray at all. Also, I wouldn't mind seeing more of a diversity for esports players. Maybe even dice it up and say, FPS esport, and then, the other ones. This one's tough. Because these are literally, I don't know this guy. I also do, I've heard of this. I've heard of Soul Dynasty, but it's something very faint. And Overwatch, as you can tell, is not highly represented here versus, well, Dota itself isn't either. So, do I go eeny, meeny, miny, mo? No, okay. Um, I'm gonna go with, for performers, it's a team-based game. Counter-Strike, you can a lot of times go solo and carry the team or carry your just everything. Overwatch, that's a team comp game. Where see it's that's where I see this. I see best esports team. Then I'm gonna be happy. But I'm gonna go Faker. I know Team Liquid is gonna regardless hate me. Now here we go. Best esports team. I watched a lot of Heroes streams this year. I watched a lot of other competitive gameplay when I had the time. Every single one of these teams is respectively awesome. SK is been awesome for a long time. Liquid 2. Lunatic High came out of literally nowhere for me. FaZe Clan and Cloud9. Um, I saw a lot of Cloud9 with the Heroes tournaments that I was watching. And, like I said, I've been watching Overwatch and Heroes. I believe it was Heroes. Regardless, are they up there in the team? No, I'm sorry. FaZe, SK, and Team Liquid. Oh, man. So, you ready for it? Are you ready? Regardless, FaZe, you are my third. For second place, SK Gaming and Team Liquid for number one. Next up, Best Indie Debut Indie Game presented by Chic. Piss off. Recognizing a new independent studio that released its first game in 2017, winner selected by fan voting. I would hope so. What is the other one's going to be selected by? I was assuming this was a democratic purpose. So, Slime Rancher, Mr. Shifty, and Golf Story. Never heard of. Never heard of. Sorry. Mr. Shifty, I had seen this image, but that was it. Cuphead, Hollow Knight. This is tough for me. This is really tough because Hollow Knight and Cuphead are fantastic. However, for being their first ever indie game, do not get discouraged, Hollow Knight. You did get the nomination. However, Cuphead is going to take it home. I think for a first indie game, first game period, Cuphead has just done fantastic. The soundtrack with it, the sounds, the animations, everything. Cuphead did fantastic. Hollow Knight, though, still deserves its love. And finally, for Best Chinese Game, Monument Valley. We discussed that earlier with mobile game. JX3 HD, no clue. I think that's where it looked like. Yes, I've seen it. It's the World of Warcraft kind of ripoff from China. Gumballs, kind of a cute game where you try and defeat, like, big bosses by kind of teaming up and whatnot. Icy, never heard of it. Never seen it. And King of Glory, the literal Dota slash LOL ripoff. You can't vote for him, but if there was a voting button, which is flooring, as judged by the viewers in China. China. Where was that other one that you could not vote for? Where was that other one? It was this one. Awarded the best student region at the high school or college level. Oh. So basically this has nothing to do with this. Like I said, Falling Sky, though, regardless. Like I said, I looked up their game. It's actually pretty good versus the other one. The other one was fantastic as well. King of Glory, I would vote for. Like I said, it is kind of like the LOL Dota ripoff for mobile. Keep that in mind. So it's not too bad, but it's not the best. Out of all these, I would have said that JX3 versus King of Glory would have been a good match-off. But King of Glory is going to take it home from me. So, with that being said, again, please do tune in on December 7th. I would probably do, let's see, I'm trying to think what time that is. That's in afternoon to evening, I believe. I'm hoping that that's my time zone. I'm wondering now. I hope so. If it isn't, cool. But regardless, I'll be tuning in. Because I want to see. These are my predictions. I've got them all jotted down here. I'm like, wee. Like I said, I jotted down. I did my research. I sat and I'm like, okay, what? Like some of them here, I'll even show you. Like some of them are like Zelda versus Mario. I'm like Cuphead versus Persona. They split it this year. You know, Resident Evil. Every foot's at. Like I said, it was fantastic. Brian was close. All these like the little slashes. So yeah. With that being said, please tune in for that if you're a gamer. Otherwise, if you're a gamer, also please remember that your vote does count. They do have a voting jury, however, which, hold on, I want to show this to you. So, here's the companies. We'll include the ballots from the following 51 global media outlets. I guarantee their votes are more popular than yours. I mean, what? Polygon, a company that constantly flips back and forth. I love you, but still, you know, I don't. I really hope... Hold on. The one company we don't want rating games. Are they on here? Not EA. No. There's a company worse than EA. In my opinion. Are they on here? Nope. Okay. The New York Times. Okay. There was also a voting jury where I had seen like the picture of Todd from Bethesda, I think. And like 4 other people. And I'm like, I don't think it's here, because clearly, but there literally is 5 people to break like tie ballots or you know, put in feedback or whatever. Will it be on news? No. Oh, there, right here. So this one is where these guys will judge. Okay. Todd, go away. No. And respawn. Really? That's fair. We're EA. We own Respawn. Enjoy the very clear and slanted vote system we've got going on. I'll take Kojima and what he's got to say over everyone else here. Okay, so I'm sorry, but it's the truth. It's my opinion. It's a democracy. With that being said, I hope y'all did enjoy. I didn't expect it was going to be this long. But it's fascinating to get your opinion out there to vote, to be part of the decision making and the democracy and the whole 9 yards. It's fantastic to be part of it. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you reach the end of the video, feel free to let me know. Also, drop a like, a share, a subscribe, whatever, because I'm doing loads of content almost every day. Other than that, head down in the description below. You can follow me on social media, and if you want to support my channel, feel free to do so. Also, like I said, on December 7th, I will probably be tweeting, maybe even live streaming, going over things with you guys, maybe even doing like having the votes tallied and going with it while playing another game. Who knows? We'll figure it out. We've got like 3 weeks, so let me know in the comment section below if you want something like that done. Just a big, just everything on screen, so much information, your mind is blown, and helps you multitask too. Maybe you want to play a game, watch it all at the same time on another screen. Who knows? That being said, until next time, stay well, stay awesome, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.